What's up, everybody? What's good? What's good? Welcome to Unfiltered and Raw with your host, Michele with 1L. Thank you guys for joining. So it's me, one half of the cousins, and I'm doing my thing by myself. So I'm nervous, guys. I just want to let you know, but I'm excited and I'm happy that you guys are here tapping in with me. I have a guest, and I'm gonna bring my guest on. So I got my boy Eric Cole, formerly known as K Swift from the 80s rap group. You got to be a diehard hip hop fan to know who this guy is or know what this group is, the Alliance. They were with First Priority Records. So Eric, everybody, welcome Eric. What's up, my guy?
What's good? What's good?
Yo, it's been a minute.
I know.
Thank you.
Unfiltered and Raw with Michele with the 1L.
Yes. You know, it's been such a long time since we like really chatted and vibed. You know how our conversations go. Like we could be on the phone for hours just talking about stuff and we all over the place.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? So thank you. I just asked you at the last minute. You was like, "Got you." I really appreciate you.
No problem.
But you know, people want to know what Unfiltered and Raw means. You know, we was chatting about this a little bit before we got on, and I think it's self-explanatory. Like unfiltered means we talking what we talking. We're talking about whatever we want to talk about. No filter. Most people that know me know that I got a potty mouth, so it's kind of hard for me not to say some shit without cursing it. It's just kind of, and plus I feel like for me, cursing saves lives.
I agree with you 100%. Like shit. See, there you go. Sometimes it's part. Yeah, it's different. Like when you just curse the curse. It's part of how we speak. It's part of the dialect, and it's a release sometimes.
It is a release. It definitely is a release because sometimes I'll be like, this person better be lucky that I said that instead of doing that. Because it could be a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
for real.
I got a question. Did you see the verses?
Oh yeah. Yeah. First of all, it was dope. And it's great to see the level it's at now since Swizz and Timbaland. Yeah, since they signed on with Triller, you can see the level of that partnership now, how it's being done. Someone said, I don't know, and it was dope, and not to exclude that, but someone said you saw the D'Angelo verses, right? Have you saw that one?
I didn't. I was not interested at all.
Oh no, you're not a D'Angelo fan. You're not.
But I was back in the day, but I was so not interested in seeing D'Angelo by himself. Like I was like, I want to see somebody else either with him. So I didn't really get that one.
It was, I think that it was not promoted right. But D'Angelo is kind of a quiet dude. If it was promoted right, it was, they did it at Apollo Theater too. But if it would have looked like what they did with this, I think it would have got more attention because it was pretty cool. It was really cool. It was a really cool vibe.
I mean, I know some people that are diehard D'Angelo fans. They checked it out, and I heard people say it was good, but it wasn't me. But I just want you guys to listen to the music that's in the background. That's my daughter's new single that's going to be dropping really soon. It's just the music. I didn't play the rap part of it or the lyrics. I'm old school, so rap, we still say that shit.
Yeah.
The kids say hip hop. Nowadays, we say rap. Like a lot of the stuff I just can't get with. So I'm still going to speak how I speak because, I'm 50 plus.
What's her name? What's her?
Her name is T Jones. So that's her real name, but shortened. The beginning of her name is Letitia, but her rap name is T Jones. Cool. So she got some stuff on YouTube already. So this single that she just did, we're trying to get this released on iTunes and all the other different platforms and Spotify. So it's a dope record. It's definitely a dope song.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. I'm super excited about it. And I do remember a story you told me about MC Light. You putting MC Light on,
Mm-hmm.
or helping to get her put on, should I say?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the story with MC Light is coming. You know, we were talking about this earlier. You know, I originally from New York, living in the Bay now. You know, I'm originally from Brooklyn. And as you know, it's
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. And I was telling you, Michelle, you know how Brooklyn, and then I moved to Queens, you know, in my when I was about 16, 17. And as I was telling you, Brooklyn and Queens was like two different worlds at that time. I mean,
Right.
you know, especially back then, dress style, everything style, you know, it's like just going to another state. And so when I moved to Queens, originally when I was in Brooklyn, that's where I started the fundamentals of, you know, being part of First Priority Music, being under the
Right.
Alliance. And I knew MC Light, Lorna in junior high school, which now they call middle school. You know, back in the days we called it junior high school.
Is that what they call it now? They don't call it junior high school anymore?
Nah, they call it middle school.
Oh, well,
Middle
isn't
school.
that
See,
something?
we showing our age. Like, yeah, for real, yeah. So we met in
I had
junior.
no idea.
Yeah, yeah. So we met in junior high, and during that time, that's when I kind of was fundamentally writing and rapping. You know,
Right.
I started as a shorty watching the older cats around the neighborhood. I would write raps because I was writing poetry, so I would literally write, you know, 3-4 pages of raps and perform it and use them as battles because that's
Right.
how you kind of did it back then. So as I did that, I kind of got known as, you know, this rapper from around the way, this writer and whatever. And we knew each other, and you know, she was trying to get her rhythm going. She went through many names and stuff like that. But anyway, long story short, we went to different high schools, but we kept in touch. She started improving her style. And then I said, okay. And the first thing she worked on was called Cram to Understand You. That was her very first record.
We all
Uh,
remember that song.
right, right. And the idea, when she wrote it, generally, especially back then, you know, misogyny was even bigger because, you know, hip hop was fundamentally male dominated.
Right,
Not
right,
not
right.
not just artists, but even what you heard, it had to be hard. You know, no, it had to be hard or good. Nobody was trying to hear, you know, and there were female rappers back then, but nobody was trying to hear a female rapper saying how a dude broke her heart. Basically, they wasn't trying to hear that.
No, I
You
wasn't
know,
trying to hear that.
they wasn't trying to hear that. So when she
No,
was
definitely
writing
not.
it, right? So when she wrote it, I said, okay, this is cool, but instead of making it, you know, a love story, you should kind of flip it and make it that he cheated on you, but make that girl was crack because you know that was the crack era.
Well,
Yeah,
damn. Is that
yeah.
what the song was about?
That was, yeah. The song was about just like a test of Cram to Understand You. It was about a dude named Sam, you know, who was cheating on her.
I
But
need to go listen to the words because I have no
yeah,
idea what the song was about.
yeah, it was about a dude cheating on her with crack. But the way she
Oh
presented it was
shit.
like it was another girl. But it was that at the end she says it, and the girl he was addicted to, her name was crack. You know, and that was
Oh yeah. Okay. Now that you're saying it, it makes a lot of sense to me now.
right. So yeah, I kind of gave her that ignition, like, yo, you know, you flip it like that, dudes would listen because they'll be like, oh shit. And she had a different voice too. You know, she definitely had a different voice. So the way she
Yeah.
became part of the family was back then. If you know, I used to go to Staten Island, Audio 2, Milk and Gears.
Right.
They were up in Staten Island, so I used to go there record. And Alliance, we were doing our stuff. Milk and Gears at that time just started finishing Top Billing before it came out.
Right. I
And
remember that.
Daddy O from Stetsasonic used to hang out there with us too. So yeah, I brought her there. We went on this ferry, you know, and she performed it for them dudes. And next thing you know, they're like, "Oh shit!" And that's, you know, that was it. And you know, I brought her up there, and then from there,
Mm-hmm.
history was history. She became part of the family to the point that even her stuff got released before ours. You know, so
And
but
she blew the fuck up.
she blew up. You know, the song that opened the door for all of us, because you know it was known as the First Party Music family, was of course Audio 2 with Top Billing, you know,
Right.
Milk and Gears, and that was a big song that opened the door. But then when MC Light came out, yeah, she blew up. She became, you know, kind of she became iconic to females, especially that, you know, would
Definitely.
go
Definitely.
and she had the video, and I remember going places where, you know, it was just starting and Video Music Box was premiering her video and all of that. And people were like, "Oh, are you MC Light?" And you know, you kind of saw the direction of that. And she, yeah, she definitely was, was and is, you know, what she became.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
80s rap 80s hip hop, the 80s era of rap was the best time.
Yeah. I like the 80s because the late 80s as it
Late
grew, I think
80s.
88, there's always this
Yeah.
debate about 87, 88.
I know.
The era
People
of
always debating
when we
about
came
that
out
for
was
sure.
the defining time. Yeah.
Definitely.
But I think that was the turning point. A lot of people say it started with Run DMC, Sucker MC. And I think in a sense that's kind of right because that's when we just was rocking the drum beat,
Sucker MC was my joint.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
I had to shout out my girls. Hey, Kenya, I see y'all.
Oh, shoot.
I got my people. My support team, my support system. I love them. I shout out my people.
It's showing up.
I wanted to talk about the verses really quick and go back to that. We was that. That shit was epic. I thought it was dope. I thought it was the best verses ever. Minus Steve Harvey.
Yeah. You said minus Steve Harvey?
Minus Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was on my nerves the whole damn time.
With his stories, huh?
Yeah, he drove me nuts. He drove me nuts, and I was like, this guy. It's like he wants to be seen. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
Steve Harvey can't help himself.
I agree. But I thought it was dope. They look good.
Yeah. Well, Ron Isley, shoot, he went viral. He became
I was like, oh shit. Ron can get it. Like Ron can really get it right now.
It might have taken 79 years, but shit, he became a sex
because he
symbol.
wasn't a looker back in the day. I was like, at first I didn't even know that was him when he first came on, and I was like, who's that guy? I was like, who's that guy? But it was dope. I thought that was dope. I don't know how they're gonna top this one.
It was
I don't know how they're gonna top this one.
I don't know because these are legendary artists. I mean, we've got some legends even in our culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Earth, Wind, and Fire, and Isley Brothers. I mean, shit, that's even beyond us. That's our parents' music that we continue to appreciate and enjoy. Because that's the difference.
Yeah, because we grew up on that too.
Yeah, because that's the difference now. Like, we were a generation that we took what our parents listened to and took it to other levels. That's what hip hop was. So we were, inspired by that, and we made it into a voice for us. And then as we got older, we appreciated it, where we listened to the same things our parents did, but we, took us a little longer to appreciate it as much, whereas this generation, they're not the same with that. They don't appreciate it as much, what the generation before does. If anything, they ridicule. The
generation, this generation doesn't even know what the hell music is, because the shit that they listen to is just ridiculous. It has no depth. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So how could they appreciate the music of today?
Yeah.
But what's crazy is that 10 years, 20 years from now, they'll be like, this is going to be their shit.
This is going to be their capsule.
It's going to be right. Exactly. Like for us, is Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Ozzy Brothers and all of that.
But see, our capsule is going to be, what our eras were. Everything from, 90s and stuff will be the capsule for them. So we'll be looked upon as that, which, you have some of that with the icons who passed away. I mean, think about, to this day, you still hear mentions of Biggie and Tupac, and that's over 20 years or more,
That's going to be forever.
Right. Their kids are, Biggie's, they're grown, so it's like,
yes.
So even even when people mention my music, Alliance, I mean, or whatever, and it's like, it's so long ago that I don't even remember everything. So, I'm just, I'm just humbled, like, for real, like, you still remember that? Like, in high school.
Like, old school hip hop heads would know.
Yeah, true hip hop head. But getting back now to the verses, right? I mean, it totally went viral. It was definitely dope. It made me miss Maurice White.
Yeah, Maurice White. Yes, definitely.
Rest in peace. I was like, wow, man, it would have been amazing if he could have, rest in peace, be here. But the same thing, they lost one of their brothers too.
Wait a minute. The cousin's on. What's up, cuz? The card said the music today will not be around in 20 years. No, damn. Okay.
That'll be the dead
But
era,
she
I guess.
might have
Like,
a point. The dead era. Yeah, that music is not going
yeah,
to test the time.
no, she's right. It's like, remember when the disco era came, and then all of a sudden it was like
crashed and burned
because all the white people and the rock heads, fuck disco, blah 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 blah. Now we in the the black community got somewhat offended because what we were doing was considered disco, but no, that shit was soul. The black disco was different than the white disco. White disco just was flamboyant and went out. It was cocaine. The black disco was freaking Henny and fucking things like that. Maybe a 40 and back in the day, OE and shit. Yeah,
shit, not the OE.
Yeah, Mad Dog 2020.
That was
whatever.
Back in the day when I was guzzling 40s and shit.
Right, for real.
Like, I'm telling myself, like, what?
Went from OE to St. Ides to Crazy Horse.
No, there was a lot of others too that we was drinking.
Yeah.
Cisco and shit. But anyway, we're not gonna sit here and run down all the damn alcohol beverages we drink under age.
Yeah. For real. Yeah. But on the versus thing, there were moments where I was to myself, like, people are mentioning things now, like you mentioned with Steve Harvey, like when he was talking about the 70s, he said, where guys don't dance. He kept saying that guys don't in the 70s, guys wasn't dancing with other guys. Guys wasn't dancing. He kept saying that.
He's right though.
No, I understand what he was saying.
Even in the 80s though, you wasn't seeing that shit.
No, but we
would go to, because I know when we would go out and the guys from my hood, we all be at the same place. They wasn't dancing with each other. They was fucking standing up on the wall like bobbing their head, looking around and shit. It was not dancing with each other at all.
No, I mean, he's totally right about that. Unless you went to a gay club. So, that's what I'm saying. Like, now you got
a gay club.
But you got to phrase it the right way, because back in the 70s, I mean, that was the open era. What was it? The everybody was basically doing everybody. They was doing pills and all that. That's when people used to go to parties and leave their keys in the glass jar. You know what I'm saying? It was the swingers era. Let's be it was the swingers era.
Well,
so they was doing it's just that when you say things nowadays, we got the culture where they pay attention and they're taking it the wrong way. What you're saying, like you're trying to be homophobic, which he wasn't, but it could come off like that. So you gotta watch how you. But he didn't care because he's like, I'm old school. We say the fuck how we want to say it.
What we want to say. That's what Steve Harvey was saying. What
how we want to say it. Accountability.
He's on my nerves. Yeah. He was on my nerves. Accountability.
And another thing too.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm making these close calls that. The things that made me just like, ooh, watch it, was that, like I said, the Steve Harvey, when he said that, and Ron Isley, when he said, oh, I want to make music, for the young people to dance. I like young people. I like young people. I said, okay, Ron, slow down.
Well, Ron has a young wife, so his wife was like 44 or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, that was that artist that was part of I think they were sisters, whatever, girl group that he worked with that R. Kelly produced.
Mr. Big.
Yeah, Mr. Big. He's, he was part, him and R. Kelly. R. Kelly resurrected their career, so I'm like, be careful, Ron. I know. Yeah, I'm glad to see, you've been with her for a minute, but you say I like the young people.
They've been together for a while. They have. I see what you're saying. They have like a 14, 15-year-old.
No, he's like good. No, Ron is good money.
Ron ain't got no time to be out here doing nothing with nobody else but his wife. He is 79.
But he can't, you got to watch what you say when you say that I like him. You repeat it a few times because, you're associated. Oh,
you're thinking about the R. Kelly shit.
Yeah, believe me, it's come up. When I heard it, I was like,
I didn't think that, though. Down. But, but since your mind went there, I'm sure other people did as well.
Trust me. There are people who thought that. They probably tweeted it or whatever. But when I heard it immediately, I was like, yo, Ron, slow down. Like, if I was this PR, they probably did tell him in his ear, hey, Ron, just be careful. Because, once in a while they went back and stretched and whatever, and they're telling them, be careful.
And use the bathroom and took the meds and shit. Because, they old.
For real, right?
There's a week. Okay, the bladder's a week.
Can't be sitting there for that long and not use the bathroom.
Not that long. They was running back there.
But they have so many great hits. Yo, like
Between the two, oh my God,
Woo!
amazing. That was a
Yeah,
good versus though.
very
But
good. They
yeah.
could have did another hour. Man, forget it. The more
Oh,
than 2 hours.
absolutely. But I couldn't have did another hour with Steve though. No, because I would have turned that shit off. I can't. He
Right.
was too. But we mentioned in our conversation before the show that I had a topic that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about accountability,
right?
Bitterness and happiness.
Mm.
Why do people make other people responsible for it?
That's a great question.
Where's the accountability on your part to make sure that you are responsible for your happiness and that maybe you have played a part in your bitterness?
Mm. Mm. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. I always have like two visions on that. But I play devil's advocate sometimes too with
Oh
that.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm with it though. Go ahead.
Yeah. Because, I think what happens is kind of like either the way we've been brought up, or it's either the way of we've allowed relationships that we've been in to proceed. So what I mean by that is that, if you've been brought up a certain way, let's say on a women's perspective, because I think a lot of times, it depends, what, we're speaking upon. Like if you're relying on someone else to make you happy, you're in trouble. Because if that balloon gets deflated, if you lose that person, if for any reason you find that you've been betrayed, your world is in shambles. And it's because you based yourself upon the happiness that you were getting from someone else that you
From
couldn't
someone else,
make.
right?
Yeah, which I mean, you should definitely. It's great when you have someone that makes you feel joy. It's great when someone picks you up and you're like, wow, that person, anytime I'm around them, I feel that energy. I feel upbeat. I feel right. It's a good energy. It's a good chemistry. That's beautiful. That's
Right. And
nothing
that's
wrong with that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And you should desire that. You should deserve that. But if that's what you rely upon for you to do what you need to do to further yourself, I'm
That's
laughing
it. You let the comment, right?
but yeah, and that's what I'm talking
It was
about. Like
that's the bullshit that we are taught when we were kids, that just some
right.
damn prince is gonna come and sweep us off our feet and we're gonna go and live happily fucking ever after. But,
right.
And then here's the next comment. That meant I was incomplete and not fully happy until he showed up.
That's what I'm saying. The upbringing, I love our parents, I love our ancestors, but they didn't teach us all the right shit.
Man,
they, it was the thing of like, for instance, it was the thing of like, women, you have to do this and learn that if you want to get a deep man, if you want the right man, this is what you need to do. If you want to get into that whole thing, I'm sure you know about these characters that everyone's been talking about, like the Derek Jackson situation.
Do you really?
No, on a real. And then you have someone like Kevin R. Samuels.
Oh my God. Neither one of them fools I like. But I'm no one's judge. You know what I mean? So, and again, with the Derek Jackson situation, he's like the king of manipulation.
Yeah, but the thing is,
because all I gotta do is it did work. I gotta write a book saying all the right shit for what the man's supposed to do, and the women are gonna eat it up. Meanwhile, I'm living this damn fairy tale and not even practicing what I preach. And I was like riding with them, the couple as a couple, when they came together and made the video, and I said, well, you know what? Maybe they're trying to work on this shit or whatever the case may be, and get it together. So who am I to say she's a fool or whatever the case may be? Because we've all done shit for love, and that's real talk. But then he made a video the next day where he was referring to himself in third person. Then I said, oh, this motherfucker is trying to play us right now.
Yep.
He's trying to play us right now, and I got a little irritated at his ass. You know what I'm saying? Because I said, I was with you for a minute too. Like, oh, leave them alone. Don't talk about them. No one knows their life. and then
Right.
he played us. And I was like, oh, you bastard.
Yeah. That's
But
the definition of a narcissist. Um,
what?
yeah,
What?
that's a narcissist.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and the thing is, like, even if they've been caught in what they're doing, they're still going to put the blame on something else, and they're going to just they'll sit there and tell you, like, yeah, I did it, and blah 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 blah, and but it's a narcissist, and if you follow a narcissist like that, what happens is you kind of following a cultish mentality.
It
That's
is
why,
because a narcissist will figure out a way to make you think it was your fault that he did what he did.
right, and that he's trying to correct the ways, and he's telling you, that, hey, I have issues, but if you're not,
Right.
if you're with me, you're not trying to help me, then fuck, it's your
Yeah.
fault.
It's your fault. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's your fault.
yeah, like, yeah, everyone is responsible for their own happiness,
They are.
and you have a choice, but like Keisha Blue was saying, but not everyone follows that, and sometimes we get caught up in the moments, that's real
And I
life,
think a lot of us have. We
yeah,
all I've come to this revelation now in my 50s, and and I'm at the space where I now can take responsibility for some of the shit I chose.
right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? Now I
right,
recognize that it was my choice that kept me in situations that I shouldn't have been in.
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
So this is not even a male or female. This is both, because it can apply to all of us.
yeah,
And that's why I feel like, but then you have the bitter people who blame all their bitterness on whoever did them dirty or whoever did them wrong. So now
yeah,
it's their fault, but you have no responsibility to why you were in that situation for as long as you were in that situation.
correct, correct,
You know what I mean? So you have to
yeah,
take some sort of accountability for your own shit,
yeah, yeah,
happiness or anything else for that matter. And
yeah,
that's where a lot of people they have a hard time actually saying it's me. I'm the fucking problem.
right, right,
Nobody
yeah,
wants to
that's
look in
true,
the mirror and say I am the problem. It's all of this shit is because of me.
yeah, yeah,
Nobody wants to say that. I mean, there
yeah,
are things that we do that are that happens to us that are out of our control.
hmm
But I think once you recognize those things and you start to work to fix them,
hmm
then you have to start taking some accountability for your choices after the fact.
right, right,
I know a lot of people that still blame their mama for the shit that they're doing now. You know what I'm saying? And
hmm
or blaming their father for the shit that they do now. And I'm like, at some point, you can't do that.
right, right, especially once you're in adulthood, there is levels, and you realize, as growth happens, when we're younger, you realize, yeah, I was young, I did stuff, I thought I knew everything, I was stupid, but
Right.
that doesn't define me. It's what I've done, as moving forward, for myself and maybe for people around me.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah, there are people who blame, their upbringing, or they blame their background, or the parents, or whatever, or no support for where they're at right now. And at first you can maybe do that, but
Right. That's what I was gonna say. It's
but if
okay. You can
yeah,
realize what the root of the problem is.
yeah,
That's fine.
right. But what the issue is, that when a person is like that, it's basically they don't have a way of thinking for their own.
Yeah.
And so they feel that whatever has happened to them has made them stay in this condition, and then anytime something happens, that's what they go back to blame it on. They don't take the blame and say, well,
Yeah.
maybe I just
I
need to
chose it.
change. Yeah, maybe these things happen, and maybe I just need to focus. And I think especially at these younger people, they're very much more vocal in certain aspects. We were vocal, we were rebellious, though. We had a reason of trying to be different than everything we saw every day. Whereas the newer
Right.
generation kind of came up in a more spoiled society. They had technology, they had iPhone.
Technology.
Yeah, who the hell did any of us have a freaking phone while we were in
A
high school or
phone.
middle school that was worth
We
$900? I
had
mean, come on.
a phone. Shit.
Yeah. Unless
We
you did.
shared the phone. I'm like
Right.
rushing my brother to get off the phone. Like,
Get off
hello, I need his phone.
taking that cord phone in the bathroom so you could get privacy. We
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying? And then you can't be on the phone at certain times of the night. I mean,
Right.
shit,
And then these generations, they don't have to wear hat. Everybody's I see people giving their kids like 8, 7 cell phones.
Crazy. It's crazy. You know,
A house phone, right, dog? We had a fucking house phone.
we had a house phone and we had to share it. We had to deal
And
with
they
this.
had to share that. Keisha and Kenya, his sisters, those are my besties, those are my sisters. They had their own phone in their room. They had their own separate number. They was,
yeah,
kind of bougie and shit. You know what I'm saying? I had those friends.
Shoot, anytime if I was under my parents' house and I had a phone in my room, best believe I was paying for that phone bill. They was not paying for that. I had to pay. Oh, you got to pay. Oh, you want a phone in your room? Yeah. Pay for pay for the installation and pay for the phone. Pay for the
installation. Remember, they got to pay. They got to come. They got to drill in a hole in the wall so they
can
put the wires and all of that.
And you know what was dope? We got call waiting and call ID for you. Oh shoot! No, I know who.
That didn't come till later though. Like we didn't have that shit in the beginning. You got a busy signal when you call somebody. Remember the emergency breakthrough? You call the damn operator. You have an emergency. and you break through the call. You on the phone like, Keisha so-and-so, because I used to do that shit to Keisha and Kenya all the time. I used to call that emergency breakthrough shit like, Michele was trying to make it, whatever the operator used to say.
Yeah.
And you get off the phone.
Oh, for real? Yeah, I remember. I had that done.
That call the waiting and all of that stuff did come to later.
No, that came
busy signal.
Came like in the later 80s. That's when it came. When I moved to Queens, because when I was in Brooklyn, it was I totally was doing all of that, and then the phone with the cord going all the way, extending from the living room to wherever I could take it to get some, my own privacy and stuff like that. And, if you have, and then call waiting. Shoot, if you didn't have that because that was so expensive to add that on. And then I used to have the voicemail machine, and being that I was creative and you
had the rap, you had the music in the background, you was rapping over the beat.
I was rapping over the beat. I also did imitations. I used to do Keith Sweat. I used to do Rodney.
Say word.
Yeah, I used to do the whole Keith Sweat. I wanna, I would imitate it. So I would literally do that and then change the words and then put it on the voicemail. So you would listen to 30 seconds. Yeah, we ain't got the patience for all of that now, but
no. And then the damn party lines came, and nobody had a phone. Somebody brother was on the party line running up the phone bill to like $1,500. So then the phone got cut off. I know I was dead because my brother. Now we gotta get a new number.
Yo, I'm not going even front. When I was younger, I got caught up in them party lines.
Did it too,
I was one of them, and I had to pay the piper though, yo. Like I had to pay like anywhere did damage like that. I had to pay that shit, eventually. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had to pay it. I was working or whatever, But karma got me because when I was on my own, a friend of mine was living with me, and he ran my phone lines, calling the party lines and calling the other lines, which the party lines were a little more, where you could talk one-on-one now and stuff. And he ran my shit up to like 5Gs. And I'm, he tried to like, no, that ain't me. That ain't, and eventually,
ain't nobody paying that.
And then
that shit goes into collections.
It went to collect, and he messed up my whole shit.
Yeah, it's done. Who's paying that? Nobody. Ain't no payment plan for that. And nobody paying back 5Gs.
Yeah,
not back then anyway.
Right, and you know what? At the time, Verizon was on strike, so they didn't even cut off my phone because Verizon was on strike. So they didn't have to.
Oh, so you lucked out. You lucked out on that one.
Yeah, but but at the same token, you couldn't fix it neither because Verizon was on strike. So if you try to pay the bill, they're on strike. So they really was like they didn't have anybody working except they had like
you were not trying to pay that bill though.
Oh hell no! Because I didn't run it up, and I was trying to explain to them all of that, but I couldn't talk to anybody. But even if you wanted to pay the bill, you couldn't even do that. So it was,
They don't give a damn that you didn't run it up. Somebody in your house ran your bill up. You can't call Verizon and be like, "Listen, my homeboy ran up." They're gonna be like, "Oh, y'all better handle that."
Yo, they don't care. They don't care. Matter of fact, you know what happened? When I moved from that apartment, right? Because I didn't take care of it properly. Somehow, or however, the next person that moved in after me came in, and I didn't find out till about a year or two later that they were using my last line under my name for 2 years. And you know the way I found out was I was working somewhere
That's funny.
and I saw this address and I said, yo, that address seems so familiar. And then I looked at the phone number and I said, wait a minute, because the phone number was the same. I never kept that phone number. I left, but they kept the phone number.
Right.
And I said, why does this look familiar? I go check it out. My name is under it. And this happens to be
Got you.
someone, who's a client now. So I said,
I
what?
got you.
So then I went and called on my own phone and reached out and said, hey, can I speak to Eric? Who? Eric. Blah, 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 blah. Eric, no, there's no Eric here. You have the wrong number. Are you sure? Because the phone number says it's under Eric Cole. And they're like,
Wow.
yeah. And then I called him. I said, yo, stop playing. This is Eric, who he's speaking to. Oh, I'm sorry. But I've been paying it. Honestly, he was paying it. He was paying it for 2 years, so he didn't fuck up my credit. So I gave him a little leniency. I said, you know what? Yo, you're going to have to change that line. I appreciate that you didn't fuck up my credit, so I'm going to be lenient about it. But I'm going to give you, 15 days to change it. Otherwise, I'm going to,
And that's going to be it.
And
but you know what, E? We are like, we could sit up here, we could talk all night. You know what I mean? You do.
Oh, yeah,
but we got to wrap it up.
All right.
But before we go, I know you got some things you're working on, like you got the series and you got some stuff. So you can tell us about it real quick.
Yeah, I have a series called The Plug that I've been working on for about 2 years or so now. The pilot had premiered on CBS All Access when it was CBS All Access. It's now Paramount Plus. But yeah, back in December. So basically, quickly, what happened is I had a deal with Viacom to do one season of the series, which was for 5-6 episodes. This was prior to the pandemic. I was able to film one episode prior, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, it slowed me down. I started the production and the series with a partner who has unfortunately passed away over 2 years ago. So she was actually the leading person who was running this in Hollywood.
Right.
So I had to kind of step in halfway to do it and complete it. And fortunately, we've been able to complete the series. I, kind of stayed in a bubble for a minute to do it. So now what I'm doing is I have 5 episodes in the can. I worked with union and non-union people on it. My IMDb has to be updated, matter of fact. But I've been doing this kind of on the cusp, on the low with investments. And I'm hoping to have this premiere sometime, if not in the summer, by fall. But it may be on multiple platforms, to be honest with you, because kind of that's
nice.
That's the kind of the way I'm trying to do something different. Like if I can, I don't have the power like that. Like people like, oh yeah, you in Hollywood. I'm not in the cliques or anything like that. I'm really the outsider that's been fortunate enough to kind of work and get budgets and do this stuff.
But that's dope though.
Yeah, dope. Yeah. So hopefully, I've been putting up little promo clips and stuff like that because I have all the rights to everything. But then I can't show everything what it's about because as soon as I try to do that, they do ban me.
Okay, well, no, we don't want that to happen.
Right.
I'm definitely going to be looking out for stuff. So I always see you posting. So just hit me up and send me whatever it is that you're doing. And I thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
And being my first guest.
Yeah. I hope we didn't bore everybody because but at least you're fun. Me, I don't know.
But it's all good though. It's all good. It's all good.
No,
maybe I will bring you back on. We talk some more shit about some more shit.
Yeah. I probably have premiere dates and stuff like that. So
definitely. I definitely want to know what you got going on. So
but I
appreciate you.
I like the open talk, and I appreciate the support you give me as well. Because anytime I'm doing something new or whatever, you're one of the first people that reach out and say, "Hey, blah blah blah. Let me know."
Definitely, I love to see my people doing what they're doing, and I know you've been working on this stuff for a while. So I'm happy to see things actually starting to happen. When you start to see it, I'm like, okay, that's what's up. So I do appreciate you, and thanks again. So guys, we're going to sign off my first show. This was fun. I'm always nervous the first show. Even with the conversations with my cousin, we was nervous, and we learned as we go along. This is a different format because my cousin's not here, so I'm like, I kind of feel like she's missing right now. But it's all good. But thank you everybody for tuning in, and I appreciate my people, my support people. I love you, and I love you guys so much. And I guess we'll see you next week, next Wednesday. Love and light. Peace, y'all.